Good morning, you guys. What is up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. Today, I feel completely and totally underdressed for the car we're about to show you. This is a Make 007 proud kind of moment here. That's right, the 2018 Aston Martin DB11. That's what we're gonna be showing you guys today. Just a beautiful car, inside and out. And when you hear this thing, it's just glorious, man. The twin turbo V12 from Aston, what a tone, man. The design elements on this car are just flat out nailed. They're just stunning. I'm gonna get into some of the specs, not too many of them, because we just don't need to go that deep into the specs on this car. I thought it'd be fun to show you guys something, you know, that's different for us, and yet in the same world, which is ultimately about pretty big power, pretty big performance. This one is a little more luxurious and elegant than usual. So we're gonna shoot it a little bit, we're gonna go for a drive, and let's see if we can all agree or disagree on whether or not this car is worth north of $200,000. You guys ready to go for a rip? Here's by far one of my favorite things about this car is the doors. And it's not a gull wing door, it's not the Koenigsegg pop out and flip up, which are extraordinary. This door is amazing. I'm trying to figure out how, with the weight of this glass, this big door, this big mirror, I can't imagine what the weight is, but I know this is not light. And yet, obviously you got the beautiful Aston door handle. But check this out. It's literally, it's like paper light. And the other thing I love about this door is not only does it angle up for the high curbs that we get once in a while, right? But wherever you put the door is where it stays. It's not a notched door. You're not married to it getting stuck in one position. Wherever you want the door to go, that's where it stays. It's so cool. You can move it just fractions and it stays exactly where you put it. And then a light tap and it closes. It's such a cool door, man. They're British, they're very polite. Nobody should ever have to manually open your center console. You should be able to just flip a switch and get to your gum and your toothpaste and your mini computer.
Your silenced PP7.
Right. That is Aston Martin. We're starting out in the GT mode in this car, which is, I'm going for a cruise. I've got a passenger in the car that is definitely not really into cars. They prefer, you know, the closest to floating on clouds that they can get. And this car does that well. It does it really well. Nice and buttery smooth, real soft. I'm over that already. So we're gonna go, let's go up to the sport mode, and I'll go sport on suspension. Feel it stiffen up a little bit. Not radical, but it definitely stiffens up. Instantly, it's holding the RPMs a little higher. It wanted to downshift immediately to get a little more grunt out of the twin turbo V12, which is cool, but Sport Plus is where I think I need to live on this car. So let's talk a couple of the basic specs on the 2018 Aston Martin DB11. It is a glorious twin turbo V12, producing right about 600 horsepower. Not massive, but not bad at all. 520 foot-pounds of torque, or pound-feet of torque, depending on how you like to say that one. I still can't really figure out which one's the proper, appropriate, perfect, more accurate way of saying it. The seating position here is just perfect. I mean, you have so many adjustments on this seat. If you can't get comfortable in this car, you probably have a difficult time getting comfortable on a couch. And obviously well appointed. I mean, you look at the stitching inside of this car, the gauges are just great. And I know there's probably 50 different ways you can look at the gauge cluster here. This is my first time driving it. I spent all of about 10 minutes trying to uncover some of the technology. It took me a while just to figure out how to turn up and down the volume on the stereo. Typical with our modern cars, it's just more and more and more technology to make our driving experience overall just that much better. And this is coming from a company that, for some of you guys, you might not know this about Aston Martin. Aston Martin is a 105-year-old company. 105 years old. I didn't know they were making cars in the early 1900s, to tell you the truth. And this is one of their newest vehicles. And it is really a stunning car. When you fire the motor, when you sit down in here, when you put your hands on this, God, this steering wheel is so perfectly fitted to your hands. Oh, you hear it downshifting. The Sport Plus mode is just where I want to live on this car because, well, you get more of a sense of what it can do. And like I said, it's not a massive power car, but it pulls. I mean, I'm not going to stand on it again. You guys hear this a lot from me. It's a client car. If you saw the recent CTSV episode, in this neighborhood, I stood on it a little bit, and within minutes I was pulled over. Lucked out, didn't get a ticket. Thank you, by the way, to the Burbank Police Department for being so kind with me. Some of the other things that I notice on this car, like a lot of our modern performance vehicles, is all of the attention towards aero. Everything is geared towards aero these days. This car has vents in places, some of which you don't even see until you pop the hood. Like at the fenders, there's these great vents on the sides of the fenders, but when you pop the hood, it exposes the vents that are actually under there so the air can get out. That's the idea constantly anymore, is get the air out and get it flowing in such a way that it gives us some downforce so our performance goes up, because that's what we want ultimately out of anything we're driving if we're a performance-based car guy or girl. The other thing you'll notice on here, turn signals are usually semi-annoying. Listen to this turn signal if you can hear it. Listen. It almost sounds like someone's knocking on the door, right? It's a low kind of thud. I'm just picking up some of the details on this car that I find very interesting and very unique. All right, I got pulled over in this area before. Let's see if we can stand on it for a quick blip and see what the car does. Nice. Pulls good, man. And you barely know you're going. I mean, again, shouldn't be doing this on public roads, but I just rolled on from about 20 miles an hour and landed at 90 miles an hour before I lifted. And that was in a matter of a couple seconds. So this car is definitely going to get you some thrills. But I got to imagine you'd have to be hammering this car pretty hard to really actually feel that you're moving. It's one of the things I love and at the same time don't love about our modern cars is that they've become so insulated sound-wise with the deadening inside the car as well as what goes on through the chassis and suspension, making it very difficult to actually have any feel of the road or the elements that are going on around you. But in a touring car like this, in a luxury car, it's absolutely what you want, right? I mean, I should be dressed in a tux right now, getting ready to go pick up, well, I don't have a girlfriend, or a wife, for that matter. But if I was, this is the car I would want to pick them up in and go have, what, say maybe champagne breakfast? Aston Martin is one of those companies, they've been doing it, obviously, a long time, 105 years. And their design cues, their design cues go all the way back to the DB5, and it's still one of the most elegant cars you'll ever see. And this car definitely doesn't fall short on their design cues whatsoever. The exterior, the rear end of this car, I think is really beautiful. The front end, the side view of this car. But I gotta admit, so far, my favorite view, right here in the driver's seat. This is the view I like to see best. All right, you guys, well, that's it for the Aston Martin DB11. Beautiful car, right? Tell me that's not just an elegant, sexy car. And we definitely have performance ability here. I mean, you've got that 600 horsepower, really wonderful sounding twin turbo V12. Aston Martin nails it on design. Their interior is, I mean, I've sat in the best of the best, and this is right up there. The interior on this car is spectacular. This is definitely one I want to fill the tank. I want to find a girl to jump in the passenger seat with me, and I want to head to San Francisco and go have lunch on Fisherman's Wharf. That's what I want to do with this car. Anyhow, you guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. You guys just helped us. We just crossed 4,500 subscribers. We're headed for 1 million, but we've got our first 4,500. So thank you guys, and please continue to spread the word. I really appreciate your support. And I will see you in the next episode. All right, man. Later.